f'iż-żmien, pajjiż mod ieħor milli naf jien. Titħabbek miegħu bla ma trid u kemm nixtieq ara l-ftit li jerġa' dak iż-żmien mill-ġdid. Album ritratti lura f'iż-żmien, pajjiż mod ieħor milli naf jien. Titħabbek miegħu bla ma trid u kemm nixtieq ara l-ftit li jerġa' dak iż-żmien mill-ġdid. Li jerġa' dak iż-żmien mill-ġdid.
Inselmilkom. Nilqakom għal edizzjoni oħra tal-programm Lura f'iż-żmien. Battuni nħares lej programm partikolari. Programm tal-1964. 21 ta' Settembru 1964 meta Malta kisbet l-indipendenza. Fil-programm tal-lum se naraw 3 ċelebrazzjonijiet partikolari ta' Malta. L-ewwel se mmorru fl-ewwel parti se mmorru għall-1964, purament meta Malta kisbet kif ġiġa għadna l-indipendenza. Se nurrukom dan il-filmat attwali, il-filmat oriġinali ta' ċelebrazzjonijiet li saru tal-indipendenza, però dana kien filmat li ġie maqqat għall-okkażjoni tal-25 anniversarju tal-indipendenza li kien fl-1989. U fil-rakkont nisimgħu 25 sena ilu. Daw it-tfal ta' 25 sena ilu. Kif jgħaddi żmien? Ikkalkula kemm għaddew bejn l-1964 u llum 2019. Ħanaraw filmat li fih se naraw l-Onorevoli Prim Ministru ta' dak iż-żmien, Dr. George Borch Olivier, naraw il-Gvernatur Ġenerali Ingliż, Sir Maurice Norman, naraw ukoll anki ammont ta' nies parlamentari, ministri ta' dak iż-żmien. Se naraw dawk li ngħidulhom it-top brass. Malta indipendenti.
25 years ago, Malta became an independent state. 25 years on, we are celebrating again, celebrating a quarter of a century of self-determination, a quarter of a century of progress as a sovereign state. So, as we stand on the threshold of a new and exciting decade, it seems timely to remind ourselves of where and how this era of our history began. In September of 1964, the historic month of independence. Independence Day was set for September the 21st, 1964, but preparations for the occasion had been underway many months earlier. The streets were bedecked with national flags. Ships from all over the world have been invited to join the festivities. But the occasion, befitting its importance, was a time to take stock of the past as well as to look forward to a sovereign future. Speeches and exhibitions outline the island's long, exciting and sometimes tragic march to independence. Don Miquel Sherry, executed in 1799 by the French, and those who died in the riots of June 1919 were honoured. As was the memory of those who gave their lives in World War II. The Prime Minister, Dr. Giorgio Borgia-Liviere, placed a wreath at the 8th September National Monument in the name of the government and people of Malta. But the major emphasis was on the future. A major exhibition, Malta Looks Ahead, concentrated on plans to develop the economy of the islands. Exhibits focused on the long-term formula for economic success, expenditure on and commitment to industry, tourism and agriculture, and parallel development of the infrastructure, education, communications and essential services. All evidence of the determination 25 years ago to invest in the future for the benefit of every Maltese. The build-up of Independence Day was marked by the arrival of numerous guests and delegates from abroad. The Queen was represented by the Duke of Edinburgh, who was met by the Prime Minister, the last British Governor of Malta, and the Metropolitan Archbishop. The welcome continued at Verdala Palace at the evening garden party, organised by the governor in honour of the arriving guests. The festive atmosphere spread throughout the islands. Parties, marches and shows in every town conveyed the optimistic spirit of the occasion. Nothing perhaps typified the historic nature of the event than the massive and colourful pageant in Valletta on the morning before Independence Day. Malta's rich history and culture were depicted in a series of vignettes that owe their origins from prehistory to independence. The megalithic temples built by the first Maltese. The arrival of the seafaring Phoenicians, the Roman era, and the momentous shipwreck of St. Paul, which brought Christianity to the islands. The Arabs, the Normans, and the feudal lords came and went. Malta's spirit survived. The Knights of St. John and the Great Siege. The revolt against the French, the long association with Britain culminating via the 1921 Constitution, the George Cross, independence. Alongside the pageantry, the official ceremonies. Dr. George Borge-Olivier, on behalf of the people of Malta, received gifts and congratulations from representatives of foreign governments. Worldwide interest in the occasion was clearly illustrated by the vast number of press, TV and radio correspondents that covered the celebrations. The atmosphere at night matched the mood. As the moment of independence drew nearer, the Independence Arena became the focal point of attention. Following an official banquet at the Hotel Phoenicia, the Prime Minister and official delegates and representatives joined the thousands in the arena. The massive crowd were entertained by a series of displays by the services and a series of historical tableaux. But the most emotional moment for the Prime Minister and every Maltese in Gossetton came at midnight. In total silence, the British flag was lowered. The flag of independent Malta took its place. A nation was born. The silence gave way to a cacophony of sound and celebrations. The morning of September 21st, 1964, the first morning of independence. The day was a mixture of popular celebration and official ceremonies. The swearing-in ceremony and the handing over of the constitutional instruments to the Prime Minister. Low Mass, partly a Maltese for the first time, and a message from the Pope.
That they showed no little kindness to himself.
Also read in Maltese by the Archbishop. The Governor-General, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet were officially sworn in.
نحلف اللي نقضي سوا وفدلمنت للمالطا بالكاريكا تا بريم منسترو اللي سكونت لاهيار جوديتسيو تاعي بالزمنية كلها.
The first independent government was in place, yet the most symbolic acts were yet to come. The Queen's representative, Prince Philip, read the Queen's message to the people of Malta.
And now, Mr. Prime Minister, it falls to me to perform the concluding act of British sovereignty in these islands, as I present to you these constitutional instruments which establish Malta's independence. Long may it endure.
The constitutional instruments were handed over. The Prime Minister, like everyone present, was visibly moved as he spoke.
اللون اللي اتنراو البندرة تاعنا.